Hey there, Arkham video game fans. This is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at DC Collectibles Killer Croc action figure from the Arkham Origins line. This figure just came out probably about a few weeks ago and is part of Series 2 of the Arkham Origins line. So this figure, to start off, is just absolutely massive. Like, you probably can't tell with me handling him here. So let's just go ahead, get him standing upright. You can already see how big this is starting to appear, but this is our guy. Put his feet down into place. And this is 7-inch scale Batman from Arkham Origins. 7-inch scale. 6-inch scale Luke. 7-inch scale Wendrix. This is a big, big figure. The amazing thing about this figure is that for whatever reason, it was only $22, whereas the last Croc was, I think, like 70 or at least 50 when it started, and prices have soared since then, but insane. I'll get to the details on him in a second, but first I want to go over his articulation because it's actually pretty plentiful for a figure this big. We've got a nice ball jointed head. So we get some down, some pretty nice up, and then we've got, of course, rotation, but it's on an angle, the peg going in. It goes up into his head like that. So it's a little tricky getting him to look just standard left and right, but he actually does it all right. It's more suited for rotation, but he can get some angle out of that. We've got swivel hinges in the shoulders. Of course, they go all the way around, and they go out to about that far. So not tons of range there, but pretty good considering he's got all these nice scales up here. We've got a swivel in the biceps muscle. We have a hinge in the elbow, which gets less than 90 degrees, but certainly not bad. And we've got swivel hinges in the wrist that go in and out. And that's the same on both sides. We've got a big ab crunch here in the center, which goes back about that far, and then forward quite a bit that far, which is really nice, so you can get kind of down on Batman and kind of intimidate him. And we've got a swivel, I believe it's a swivel. There's a little bit of a space here, which would make me think that it was a ball, but it feels like a swivel joint in the waist, which is great. We've got the DCUC style swivel hinge joints for the hips. They go forward about that far. Very, very nice range. The suspender here is a very soft rubber, so it doesn't get in the way. And they go back decently far, but because of the shape of the hip, even though there's no butt pack, it actually blocks it up here in the hip joint. So, and we've got hinges. These are very, very tight here, and they make me a little nervous moving them out, but they're not bad. They go out about that far. Pretty impressive for a figure this big. I mean, that's awesome. And they are clear plastic hinge, so does make me a little nervous trying to move them, because as we know, clear plastic is more likely to snap. But no problems so far. Swivel hinges in the knees, which get about not quite 90 degrees, but not bad. And of course the rotation there. And then we have swivel hinges in the ankles, which are set up similar to the Hasbro ankles, where they go, this is a very, very tight joint. They go back. Not a ton of range, but not awful. There we go. Go back about that far, which they actually have pretty good range going back. It's just moving forward where they don't have a ton of range. You can see the joint there. And then they rotate on that joint as well. So as you can see when I opened up the video, he can actually get in to some pretty convincing crouch attack. Wow, that's a tough joint. Crouch attack positions. But the ankles will be the hardest part to work with. Hang on just a second. Alright, sorry that took a second. That ankle joint is very, very tight. There have been people who have said that they've had trouble getting theirs to stand. Mine stands very, very solidly. It's just you have to make sure that the ankle joints are in the correct click position, because there's like one where it kind of looks like it's straight, but you have to click it one more time to get a little more flush with the ground. But as you can see, close up, this guy is really, really nice looking. I mean, those great, great eyes are just awesome. They're actually like a darker orange on the outside and then closer to a yellow in the middle, and then the slits, the reptilian slits. He's got all this great armored look all over his body, and he's hit with this great green and black wash to really bring out all those details. They got the armored belly here, just like a Croc. bandaged up wrists and everything with a real like burlap almost gauzy type of texture on there. He's got his big claws. They're all painted shiny to try and make them stand out. His back is really impressive. It looks like an armored Croc. Really, really cool. I showed you the one suspender hanging down here. Looks awesome. You can see it doesn't go down the other side. And if you look on the front, he does have a broken strap here, which is very cool. We've got the belt. We've got more texture there. We've got texture all over the pants. It's not just the corduroy that's actually cut into the pants, which is really cool on its own. It's also got a sort of almost burlappy texture there, just like a thick cotton maybe. Almost a canvas, I would say. Very, very cool. And that goes down into the feet, and I love the way that they hid the ankle joints on these. As you can see, they just did the cuff of the pants, and it hides that joint perfectly. And of course, the bottom has no foothold, but it does have that great same texturing that we saw on the wraps up on the hands. So just absolutely outstanding figure. In terms of the detail, they really, really went all out. I love the little bit of blood on his wrists. Where he's obviously beating the crap out of some other baddies. So let's back up and we'll talk about value on this guy. Okay, now you guys heard me say this dude is massive. This is just an enormous figure. Both of these are 7-inch scale figures, and he is just towering above them. He's at least, what, 30 or 40% of their size in totality. I mean, just amazing. But as I said, the most amazing part is this is a $22 figure. This and this $20 figures, $25 at some retailers. I got this from Impulse Creations for $22. That is an insane, insane price. For that price, I said that there's some people who have some trouble standing, but personally, I have not had that issue. I would say there is nothing about this figure that could stop you from getting it, unless you just really didn't want him. He would fit in a post-apocalyptic diorama. He would fit in with your Batman figures. He would fit in with just general goons and mutants and monsters. He is awesome. You could even fit him into a cryptozoology line if you really wanted to. He just looks fantastic. I 100% recommend this figure. Impulse Creations is sold out now, I noticed, but you can still find him at other e-tailers, and he should be at your local comic stores right around now. The box for this thing is absolutely enormous, so I couldn't even get it into frame. So sorry about that for people who wanted to see packaging, but still, pick up the figure. Don't leave him in the box because he looks wonderful. Yeah, just get him. That's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.